Okay, folks, welcome to Sunday Night Futures Live. Another Sunday. They go by like this. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Looking forward to a profitable trading week. Hello, Franklin. We'll get this. We'll do that. Get the show started. Yancy, hello. What's the entry price on ICE for our current position or to add more? I think 94.32 off the top of my head is the basis cost. I may be wrong on that. Hold on. Now you have me questioning myself. 94.52. 94.52 is the basis cost. Young, hello. TA, you may have your 6,000 on Bitcoin. Hey, Will. Doing well here, brother. Chuck, hello. Yes, Goldman Sachs should do well in a rising interest rate environment. Probably not as good as the other money center banks or the regionals. Amerimigo, Emilio, Suresh, Robert, hello. Joseph. Yeah, so current 94.52. Anthony, hello. Happy Sunday, brother. Okay, let's do this. We have, I don't know why I'm starting off with Nat Gas, but since it's up, Nat Gas spiked up. This is a big breakout on Nat Gas. We're up over 4% this evening on Nat Gas prices. We were talking last week about Boyle, which is a leveraged ETF, putting you long of Nat Gas as being on our watch list. As a matter of fact, it's still on our watch list. And what we're going to talk about tonight, first we'll just do a brief run through the futures action. Then we'll segue over and into economic data coming out this week, some earnings that are coming out, some headlines that could drive the market. I mean, this China issue, that's the reason why I have this background the way it is China is a major, major problem, and we are ramping up the pressure on them, and I'll go to more of that in a moment. But talk about having a face-saving crisis over in China. It's huge. So let's begin with Bitcoin. Bitcoin had a flash crash earlier in the day. We were down a lot lower. This chart's not reflecting it. Bitcoin was as low 10,694 spot 22 today. And right now we are trading at 11,395. So I'm going to go to that chart. I'm going to talk about an interesting entry point and where I think that Bitcoin might be going. I like Bitcoin. It was on our watch list yesterday. Basically, not necessarily Bitcoin, but the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust. And I'm going to go over that in a moment. What else are we going to do? Oh, we have a bunch of stock chart requests to get to. So let's blow through these. Bitcoin, not as bad as what it was earlier, coming off the lows of the session. We'll talk strategy about that in a moment. The S&P 500. I'm surprised that we are up right now, given the news with China. I'm not surprised technically that we're up. I'm surprised that the news is not being a little bit more of a heavier weight on the futures. But the technicals last week were very, very strong. Very strong. I mean, we were stopped out, and rightly so, and I'm glad we were stopped out on two positions on Friday on market volatility, and the markets came roaring back. Those two stocks did not. They kept falling. So good thing we stuck by our stops. And it was 160. We crossed below 160 on Boeing, and then on, what was the other one? Carnival Cruise Lines. That one just wasn't behaving well. It should have rallied. We had two bullish reversal bars. It should have rallied. It did not. Therefore, we were out. So We'll come back to these before I shut down tonight and see how we settle out here. Gold, big shocker, up again. It's insanity. We're up spot 8.9%, $17.60 the ounce. The NASDAQ 100 up spot 2.2%, spot 2.3% off the highs. And on our watch stocks was 5.9. They're reporting earnings tomorrow morning, so just beware. Or tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's the morning or the afternoon. I don't like to trade stocks or be long of stocks into earnings. Generally, sometimes I am. All right, so we're going to be watching to see whether or not we hold this breakout point on the NASDAQ 100. Let's check out the small caps. They're down. Slightly flat. Bonds. Bonds came under pressure a bit last week. So we'll see whether or not we put in a lower high or do we break out. Now, the reason why it's important to watch out for bonds, and one of the other reasons which I didn't elaborate on that I was concerned about going into the new trading week, was that Fitch, after hours on Friday, they didn't downgrade our debt rating. We're still AAA with Fitch. However, they changed our outlook from stable to negative. That sets the stage for a downgrade of our debt at some point in time in the future. And don't think that that's not being heard by other credit rating agencies, Moody's, S&P, and they may have to take some sort of similar action to show that they're in the game as well. Fitch, I believe, is a British company, so may not be as influenced by the government here, but it's just something to watch out for, because if we get a downgrade of our debt rating, you're going to see yields move up, and not in a good way. It's not because we have strong organic growth. It's because nobody wants our debt. We're not paying enough on interest for those people or countries or governments or companies to take on that risk. So they're going to want to reprice risk. So at current yield, the bond 10-year Treasury note is down. Yields are slightly up. We attempted to take out the highs, which we did, of the last 4-hour bar, but we have been rejected so far. We'll come back to this. This is interesting. Silver, a monster. Up over 3 1/3% on the session. We were higher. We're backing off here a bit. Just a quick look at copper. Yeah, copper had a rough go of it on Friday. I just want to check out. I'm going to pull out one ag name. The DBA broke out last week. That's the agriculture ETF, DBA. I'll pull up that chart. We'll just go with wheat. All right, so ag prices are holding firm. Not cooperating here. All right, this is not important. All right, let's move on. All right, so the chart of the evening is this. This is M2 money supply. This is the 1970s inflation. I wish I had the rally in gold overlaid to this chart here. But if you think that gold is overbought now, and it is short term, it's going a lot higher because relative to the 1970s inflation, the M2 money supply is just ripping through the ceiling, way beyond anything that we've ever seen before. What are the consequences? Well, let's call it 1970s inflation squared. We haven't seen anything yet. That's why what we're continuing to do is we're focusing longer term, our longer term positions on agriculture, commodities across the board, whether it be gold mining names, whether it be, I forget who it was, mentioned ICE earlier. I think it was Yancey, mentioned Intercontinental Exchange. What do? Well, if you're going to have heavy commodities trading, somebody's got to be the clearinghouse and execute those trades. Intercontinental Exchange. That's why you want to be exposed to them. So that's one of my preferred financials. Gary, hello. Hey, Oliver. The GDXJ. TA, you're in DBA. Good for you. Smart move. Nice move last week. Himanshu, hello. Okay. So this is the chart of the week so far. Economic data coming out this week. PMI, Market Manufacturing, PMI, Purchasing Managers Index, ISM Manufacturing Index, construction spending, pretty heavy Monday. Factory orders on Tuesday. ADP, oh, we have the pimp Mac Daddy of them all this week. We have non-farm payrolls on Friday. So it's going to be a chock full of economic data this week. So moving on to headlines, U.S. announces new action against array of Chinese software companies. TikTok and I believe WeChat are under threat of being banned here in the United States. And yeah, here it is. Right down here. This is coming from Pompeo. And I think that they're probably going to ban them. TikTok, they were supposed to divest or attempt to divest. What's the name of the company? ByteDance? They were supposed to, ByteDance. They're the owners of TikTok, and they're the CCP. I think they're domiciled or incorporated out of the Bahamas or Bermuda, one of the two. Yet they're a Chinese company, and they needed to divest to get the Chinese out. The deal was being negotiated with Microsoft. That deal has been broken off. All right, so no deal as far as I know it. Let's see if any other headlines have come out since I started recording. No. This is going to be the big topic of the week. You know, no matter what you want to say about last week's price action, volatility, while it came in a bit, is still elevated. And frankly, we are putting in a higher low here. We're holding firm support at, let's call it, what was the low of last week? We'll use that, 23.55. I'm concerned that if they don't pull another rabbit out of the hat and get a deal passed so that we have more money getting pumped into this economy, that we're probably going to see a potential rally in the VIX, and that does not bode well for the S&P 500. So let's watch for a new weekly low here. Hopefully we get it, and we see a continuation breakdown on the VIX. That means a rally in stocks. If we don't see it, then we need to start thinking about putting on a hedge. But this is going to be the rabbit they're going to need to pull out of that hat. They need to extend. I'm not saying it's right. I think it's wrong, frankly, to be paying people above and beyond what they were getting paid at their normal jobs. I get the logic of putting money into the economy, but good luck taking it away. That's the problem. Government sucks at everything. So everything they touch, they screw up. Now they're handing out $600 extra to people. Good luck taking it away. So this is going to be a very, very important negotiation. They're going to have to come up with something really, really quick. And if you see volatility spike, you're going to see the Republicans cave very, very quickly on this. So more to come on the negotiations. Yeah, I think that right now, Gary, they're back to 70% right now. So there's no additional above and beyond. Unless something's changed, let me know. Okay, let's do some chart requests. I have a bunch to go over here. All right, so this segment here is brought to you by our friends over at, this is how I change the background, TrendSpider. Next generation of automated technical analysis. There's a link below, 35% off. And we'll be using them to do our chart request, VSTO. And I use them. I love this chart. It's a daily chart. Let's go with the higher level view. Let's go to a monthly first. All right, so we closed out the month very, very strong. Very, very strong. We had a monthly breakout. So automatically, the first thing I'm going to do is this, because I already like the daily chart. We have a monthly breakout. So I'm going to set up an alert here. I don't think we're going to get it right away. So I'm going to keep this active for the next 10 days. And we'll see if we do a retest. And that would be a good thing. And that retest is at current at around 1589 weekly chart. So here's the alert. We do have resistance above on VSTO. So I'm going to create an alert here. I want to know if we break out. And we'll keep this one active for 5 days. We're good. Daily chart. You can see how on Thursday we pulled back. We did a retest of that monthly support level, rallied off of it. That's beautiful price action. I mean, I love it. I think it's going higher. Yeah, there's our alert set at resistance. You break out above there. I think the stock is going a lot higher. It's a really, really nice chart. You've gotten through these volume shelves. Good stuff. Long, bullish. ETH. Ethan Allen. That's an interesting one. Haven't thought about this one in a long while. So we're in a long-term downtrend. And here's what I'm concerned about with Ethan Allen. Is that we sold off and we were trading down below the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. My gut instinct is telling me that this is probably, may not be, could be wrong. Maybe it's got legs, the rally. But it appears as though this is a dead cat bounce. This is a bear flag setup. I'd be worried about a continuation breakdown. I think odds still favor bears here. And Ethan Allen furniture is not cheap, and this is not a great environment to be selling high end. So I think that if we break, what's this low? 1151. I think you're going to see shorts leaning into the name. Now, if we don't, what's the bull case? What would I want to see to get excited about the shares? Well, one is already developing. We're seeing higher lows on our Stokes, higher lows on RSI. In and of itself, you can't trade off of this. You need price to respond. Now, if we rally above this resistance level, note how many times it's been resistance. Back here, here, here we are again. So I would not buy in anticipation of a breakout above that resistance level. I would be far more conservative. I'd wait for the breakout and ideally a retest to validate whether or not that resistance level at current will in the future after the breakout act as support. So I would show a lot of patience here. Daily chart. Tight consolidation. Lots of resistance here. Let's overlay the weekly chart on top of the daily or weekly resistance levels on top of the daily chart. And here you have it. In dashed line, you have weekly resistance up here, here, pretty much coinciding with the daily resistance levels. Now, what would be nice is this, is if we pulled back and we retested this support level here. As a matter of fact, I'm going to click on breakthrough because if we break through it, the shares could quite possibly become a short. I need to make a note to myself. Okay. We'll keep this active for a few days. We'll go with, 8 days is good. And we're good to go. So what I would see here is that if we pulled back down and did a retest, you would have a W formation forming. Here's your pivot point. Here's the left side of your W, your pivot point, pull back, right side forming, and then you get a breakout. That would be the ideal situation. So I would show patience here, wait for a pullback, or wait for that breakout on a weekly basis. Right here. Boeing bottom coming soon? Maybe. I think there's a case to be made for it. We stopped out on Friday. It did head down lower. It did close off the lows of the day. Esports entertainment. Monthly chart first. We broke down on the month. Broke down below support. Now, there is another support level right down here at $5.37. If we break that and close down below it, we could be heading down here. A big drop. That's at $2.58. I think you have another one here, another support level. Right here. At $3.75. So support level number 1, $5.37. Support level number 2, 3.75. Possible higher lows in RSI. Stokes rising. Weekly chart. Yeah, here was that failure. We broke out yet again and failed yet again. Take note of this volume shelf. This is the problem. There are a lot of people invested in these shares at this level. Whether they be short or long, they're invested. They have skin in the game. And there's a tug of war to keep these shares down below the support level. I mean, if you break out and above, what's this high here? $8.20. You could have a nice rally. Let's go to the daily chart. Yeah, here's weekly resistance. We smacked right into it, right at that volume shelf on Friday, and it was rejected. Usually in cases like these, you need a further pullback and then get a running start at this resistance level. I think you may get a further pullback here. I wouldn't be a buyer just yet. You keep getting rejected. You'd be accepting too much risk and not getting enough reward for putting this trade on right here, right now. I would wait for 1 or 2 of these support levels to get tested. Watch for a reversal off of them, and then to look to put on a trade if you're so inclined. But to buy where we closed on Friday, I wouldn't do it. Maybe it's going to pop up higher on Monday for all I know. What do I know? But I don't like the way it closed. And the market's clearly telling you a lot of resistance here at $6.43. I would avoid, wait for a pullback. Ideally, $5.34. HMY, Harmony Gold. Rough week last week. But not on the month. Big breakout. I think the thing that we need to keep in mind on is this, is that gold has had a heck of a run. It's overbought. We may see it come in. That may cause a correction in the gold mining names. We did close out the month above the 3rd standard deviation Bollinger Band on a monthly basis. Weekly chart. Rough week. I mean, if this stock puts in new weekly lows, these are your support levels. First one is $6.16. The next one is $5.44. The ideal one is right here at $5.22. I had an alert set there. It never fired off. So that would be a very attractive point at which to add or open a position. Daily chart. In short, before I leave the weekly chart, bearish week last week. an outside reversal week, and we're still overbought on that third standard deviation Bollinger Band on a monthly basis. So let's not forget that. We broke down on Friday. I think we're going to pull back here. What would negate that pullback is simply if they popped it up higher above this green line here at $6.57 and it closes above it. If it closes above it tomorrow, then it's still game on for Harmony Gold to the long side. But short term, though, I think that we're going to get a continuation pullback here. I'm just reading some of the comments. Okay. Ripple my nipples. I love that name. I don't know if I say it, they'll ban me on or demonetize me on YouTube. That's a great name. I had to look at that twice. All right. End-phase energy. Still couldn't close above resistance. Wrong line, Bob. Wrong line. Stuck in the mud. Weekly chart. I couldn't buy it. Not at resistance. This is really stiff resistance. I would be interested in it down here. And that's around 48.70, around there. Where do we close? It's a big drop. It's a big pullback. A lot of resistance up here. If we close above if we close above resistance on a weekly basis and ideally get a retest of that support level the following week, that would be very attractive. So open, small, very small on a breakout, add more on a successful retest, and then go all in on a continuation breakout higher. Resistance, target price mid-70s. Daily chart. Tenacious stock. They really are trying to capture the support level or resistance level. Nice rebound on Friday, bullish reversal day. But you got to wait. Got to wait for the pullback or the breakout. I would not buy it here. Way too many sellers in here. CODX. How do we close? We broke out. Very nice. So now the ideal situation is that we retest 22.62. And you can have it as soon as this week. Weekly chart. Successful weekly breakout. Stokes broke out. RSI broke out. We had a continuation move higher last week. Validating price. Good stuff. Good weekly chart. Daily chart looking good. Good support at 21.31. It's a good looking chart. I think it's going higher. But what I would do is wait for this monthly support level right here to get triggered. That's at around 23.57. So, good looking chart. I think it goes higher. Let me see if there's any other from members. Vista, we did. That's the last one in. Good. Let's go to the audience. If I got to ask you folks to smash that like button, I'd really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, Jedi. I heard about Buffett picking up a position in Bank of America. I think that he's positioning for the inevitable. Probably after the election, they're going to have to do something about interest rates. It's not going to happen before unless they're forced to. But he's positioning for the inevitable. Interest rates have to go higher. And that'll bode well for the banks. Apple. Okay, Apple. All right, earnings last week. They're going to do a split. Really means nothing. It's a great week. They managed through the crisis very, very well. But the split is no reason to buy the stock. But many people will. That's an old .com trick. They used to split the stock, get people rushing in to buy an excitement, and it doesn't matter. It makes no difference. Daily chart, overbought relative to the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. I think you're going to pull back here. Frankly, I'm thinking about buying puts. Maybe sell some calls and buy some puts. Or buy near the money, put contracts, sell deep out of the money, put contracts to help finance the purchase of the puts. That's more attractive to me. Amazing volume on Friday. So I think we're going to pull back here as soon as tomorrow. If not tomorrow, sometime during this week. That's my take on Apple. I wouldn't buy it here. What else do we have? I'm not saying it won't pull back, consolidate, and continue higher. I'm just saying I wouldn't buy it right here. GDXJ, for disclosure purposes, we are positioned long of the GDXJ, and we're doing very well with it. I don't mind saying. So GDXJ did manage to eke out a breakout last month. We have what should be now support at $60.29. I like to validate between two charting at least two pieces of charting software when I'm seeing on one. Yeah, so this is what concerns me a bit, is that we are extended relative to the third standard deviation Bollinger Band. But we could still go higher here. I don't like the filled candlestick last week. That's a sign of indecision. And a sign that the rally is getting a little bit long in the tooth, due for a pullback. It's equivalent to what we saw back here in the week of May the 18th. An indecision week. We consolidated a bit, dropped back. That was the opportunity to buy. And we'll be looking to do the same. Nice pullback. I'll be looking to buy more gold miners. Daily chart. You can see I already have my alerts set up here. Actually, this one expired. Okay, I'm going to recreate this one because I do want to be a buyer of the gold miners on any severe correction. And, you know, people say right now, you know what, they're probably never going to pull back again. Remember that gold miners, they're stocks. So if the market corrects and corrects hard, people are going to sell what they can sell to meet margin calls. So the gold stocks will come under pressure as well. Perhaps not as great. They'll probably recover quicker, not fall as much and recover quicker, but they'll come under pressure. And that's your opportunity to just cover your eyes, press the buy button, and get long because these stocks are going a lot higher. I'm going to keep this active for a while. It's not letting me edit. All right, I'll come back to this. I don't want to waste your time. So the miners, a little bit extended. I'm not going to be the least bit surprised to see a continuation breakout. Ideally, we pull back. I like to get a pullback. I like to buy more. So longer term, very, very bullish on the gold mining names. The DBA. Now, we've been talking about the DBA for a long, long time now. I like to start looking at, in this case, a fund when they stop going down, when they're in a long-term downtrend, and all of a sudden they're not making new monthly lows anymore. And then they come onto our radar screen. So you can see, I already have my annotations here. We were looking for a breakout. We got the breakout. Ideally, we get a retest, a pullback here. TA, I know you don't want to hear that, but hopefully we do. Because I will be a buyer. Remember, it's all about commodities right now. Inflation is here. It's not coming. It's here. It's only going to get worse because the Federal Reserve just continues to print out money and they're ignoring inflation. And Janet Yellen said as much. She said this when she was still in office. This is going to be the game plan. It's playing out right now. They're going to ignore inflation, pretend it doesn't exist, and gold is very, very inconvenient for them because gold, anybody could see, is making new all-time highs now in the U.S. dollar. And the question is, why, if there's no inflation? Let them answer that one. This is another one I'm going to keep active for a while. We're good to go there. Weekly chart. Beautiful breakout last week. Beautiful. Stokes rising, RSI rising. A retest of 1397 would be acceptable as well, because that does mark the pivot point. Daily chart. Beautiful. Beautiful move higher on Friday. While I think that it'll probably make new daily highs this week, would I chase it? No, it's not what I do. There will be a retest of the breakout point at some point in time in the future. So I'd rather wait until that occurs and buy on our own terms. But TA, good call. Congrats on your trade. MSFT. How much time do I have left? 11 minutes. All right, so Microsoft remains ridiculously overbought on RSI, yearly basis, quarterly basis, not so much on a monthly basis. You can see we closed well off the highs of the month. That's profit taking. Weekly chart. No new weekly low last week. So I think that we'll probably move up higher. I have little doubt that we're going to move up higher. The question then becomes this. Do we break out or do we put in a lower high? If we put in a lower high, do we break down below the 197.49 mark? If we do that, it's all over for Microsoft for a long, long time. If we don't, well, party's still on. It's the number one, the largest component of the triple Qs. So it still looks good to the long side. Daily chart. A bullish reversal bar on Friday. And frankly, a breakout. So MSFT looking good. I think it goes higher. OPK. If it's OPK, it's Franklin. That's his stock. Rough day on Friday, huh? It held support. So the good news is you have a monthly breakout. So what I'd be watching here is for this support level to now hold. Will it act as support? They're going to retest it. And that's a good thing. So the market is telling you that you have sellers up here at this volume shelf. That 509 mark held very, very nicely last week. Daily chart. Me personally, I need to see a couple of more days of the shares trading above the support level. I'm a bit concerned that it may break, and if it does, it's going to come down here to 4.27. So I wouldn't go adding if I had a profit. If we broke down below Friday's lows, there's no doubt about it, I would be. You may keep some shares on. I might keep some shares on, but I probably wouldn't ride the whole thing all the way down. I'd be booking profits on a new daily low. Or even if we close simply below this level at 509 per share, I would be taking some risk off the table if that were to occur. So a little bit of a warning flag on the track here. I know you like the stock, Franklin, so just be careful. If you're currently long or looking to buy, I would not buy right here, right now. Again, I'd wait for a couple of more days of consolidation, see if this is going to hold. If it fails, then simply wait for a retest of 4.26. All right, let's see what else we have here. Bob, if silver continues to run, can we go straight to 34? I doubt it, because silver is so extended. This is a weekly chart. I mean, it's nuts. I don't think so. I don't think that we can go consecutively up to 34. I mean, what we've done so far is really amazing. And I think what we need to do is step back, bring up a quarterly chart, and say what kind of resistance do we have above waiting for us at the next resistance level. So I think that when we get up to 25, let's just round it to the middle, 25.50, you're going to have a hell of a lot of resistance above there. So no, I don't think we can go straight up. I think that once we hit that price point, I think it's possible that we do go to 25 and then pull back. On that pullback, that sets you up for the next leg up to your mid-30s price. So that's what I would expect to happen here. I have little doubt that we're going to get there, just not in a straight shot. Oh, Boeing. Okay. This is what I'm seeing for Boeing. All right, so this Stoke resolution issue is very close to being resolved. I remember this time last week, I was saying, I like the RSI. It was holding up, but I hate these Stokes. And sure enough, Stokes went out. So we broke the 160 mark. I was out. We did pull back. We retraced down to the lower band of support. And we'll probably bounce there one more time. The transports did close very strong last week. So I might entertain it. But if we close down below this support level in blue, forget it. We're probably going down to the high 140s. I don't think that's going to happen, though. Unless this market really, really weakens up. $150 is interesting support. $150, interesting support. I like it there. And we'll see if it bounces. I have more likes than J-Lo. I need more, please. Thanks for that, though. Please hit the like button. That was good. Okay, Bitcoin. All right, let's talk about Bitcoin. I think we kind of already did. We already did. For those just checking in, I know I advertised this as being a Bitcoin session, so I teased it. I freely admit. We'll go back. We'll revisit Bitcoin. Let's see what it's doing since we went live. Yeah, it's given up some of the ground it recaptured. I think if you're bullish on Bitcoin, you want to get long of it, you want it to go down right now. And where you want to buy it is right here. Right at 10,000. This is a monthly chart. This is a beautiful chart. Higher lows. We broke out last month. Actually, excuse me. Yeah, I'm sorry. Excuse me. I forgot. Sunday night, this Bitcoin's trading. It's been trading all weekend. So this is August here. We broke out in July. I think we're going to pull back and do a retest of 10,000. I think that's when you want to pull the trigger on Bitcoin. The only concern I would have is if we saw a rally in the dollar and on yields, because this is the Prings inflation. You know, let's go with the CPI. Let's go with the CPI. If you see a rise in yields, it may be bearish for Bitcoin. It's going to be bearish for gold and silver, that's for sure. But it'll probably be bearish for Bitcoin as well because it trades along with inflation, the CPI. They're very, very correlated. So if you get a rally in yields, a rally in the US dollar, that'll put pressure on the CPI, or should put pressure on the CPI, unless we're so far gone. It doesn't matter how much they raise rates until they get up to a huge double-digit rate increase, which would be crushing for the stock market. I think that Bitcoin will probably pull back. That might be the opportunity to jump in. As long as it holds that 10,000 mark, if it breaks down below it, you want out. So inflation good for Bitcoin. Twitter was on my watch list. I don't know what Dorsey's deal is. I think he just wants the government to come after him, and they are coming after him now. This is a stock that should have broken out, and it didn't. We have gotten through a very stiff volume shelf. I just got a text. S&P now down 6. That makes sense. And it's not because of the technicals I'm saying that. It's because of the news, the headlines. Very concerning. China, I've been complaining about them for a while now. China. And Fitch and their downgrade of our, not their downgrade, their projection of our debt going from stable to negative. And, of course, our disgusting Congress. So Twitter did break out last week. It did manage to recapture what was prior support level. It is now should be support yet again. Expect a retest here. I'm probably not going to trade it because I think that they're just making so many enemies. And you know what they're doing is that they're just inspiring more competition. Twitter. And we'll keep it active for a few days. And we're good to go. A lot of resistance up here. So a lot to fight through. You really need to buy at a good price. And I would really wait for a pullback and a retest of support. Stop loss right below. And then that'll give you the edge over other traders who weren't patient enough. Bought where it closed out on Friday. And they're trying to slug it out with all those sellers that are trying to get out as we creep up higher. You have a lot of people up here that have been waiting a long time to get made whole. And they're not looking to make a profit. They want that red entry on their trading platform to turn green, then they're out. Overhead supply, pain in the neck. Weekly chart. A down week last week. I think that we're going to pull back and do a retest of support. And that's at current at 35.83. Daily chart. Outside reversal day on Friday. You had a doji formation on Thursday. You could tell the technician said, aha, doji, trend reversal. They tried to break it out. They got hit with sellers. Stokes are flattening out. That's good. Ideally, we get a retest down here. I would be a buyer down here. I'm not in love with this stock by any stretch of the imagination. Again, I think they're their own worst enemy, and they have a lot of headline risk coming down the pike. So, and God forbid they block Donald Trump, or if he skips and goes over to Parlay or one of the other platforms, they're done. They're toast. So, Twitter, a very controversial. I don't think I've ever labeled a trade controversial in my life. Twitter is a controversial trade. All right, let's go back. We'll leave it at that. Let's see how we're closing out. I guess my information was given to me was wrong. We're still up. Okay. Looks like we did pull back. We bounced. The Russell has weakened up some. It's got to hold the support level at 1470. NASDAQ 100. It broke that support level. You can just tell there's a lot of nervousness in this market. Let's go to the dollar. Dollar's rallying. Up over a third of a percentage point. Let's see how that's impacting gold. Gold is coming a bit off the highs. It's still up over 3/4 of a percentage point. Solid price action. Let's check out silver. That's pulled back as well. So equities, iffy. The technicals still look strong given the weekly price action last week. I think it's the headlines that are major concern for this market. And with that, folks, I'm going to say have a great night. Have a profitable trading week. Hit the like button, subscribe, share with a friend, and have a great night. Be well.